Check 1, 2.
Speeding on the road, please no speeding on the road. Please no speeding on the road. Please no speeding on the road. Nations cry, shattered on knees. It happens so fast, couldn't catch my breath. Style and drift sent me straight to death. I'm floating through shadow cold and wide, wishing I could be by mama's side. She calling my name like I with her. Mama, your boy buried under. Your voice just there, echo in the air. Sorry I can't come back nowhere near. People stop the speed, no speeding please. One bad choice, your whole life cease. The ones who you love, you're left to grieve. Hear my voice, take my plea. Please stop the speeding. No speeding on the road. Please stop the speeding. No speeding on the road. For the lives that might be your own. Reckless driving you can condone. Use your blinkers when you turn. One-way road, no U-turns. You must obey the laws that are set. HMP has cries of regret. Take my warning as no joke. Don't fear to be caught so poke. Please no speeding on the road. 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 Madam Badai, my family dressed black and white, tears falling down, living a plight, huge vigil, candle in hand, wishing I could rise. I'm a dead man. My best friend stand by the graveside wall, leaning on guilt, can't speak at all. He drives fast too, say it could have been he, but still pressing gas like he had done me. My little niece asks where uncle go, but nobody brave to let you know. She touched my face, smile so wide, I never coming back to watch her side. People stop the speeding, no speeding please. One bad choice, your whole life sees. The ones who you love, you're left to grieve. Hear my voice, take my plea. Please stop the speeding. No speeding on the road. Stop the speeding, no speeding on the road. For the lives that might be your own. Reckless driving you can condone. Use your blinkers when you turn. One-way road, no U-turns. You must obey the laws that are set. HMP has cries of regret. Take my warning as no joke. Don't fear to be caused no poke. Please no speeding on the road. 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 Madam Badai, I used to dream, house and car, drink me rum, speed from bars. Thought that tomorrow was always mine. Never really cared, never watched the signs. My plans stuck neat in a notebook page. Love some save for some distant age. But fate don't wait, it don't knock or shout. One flash, one turn, lights go out. We still like power when you're young and bold, but the road ain't care if you're warm or cold. Flesh and fire, now I mist and rain, trying to spare another from this pain. People stop the speeding, no speeding please. One bad choice, your whole life sees. The ones who you love, you're left to grieve. Hear my voice, take my plea. Please stop the speeding, no speeding on the road. Please stop the speeding, no speeding on the road. For the lives that might be your own. Reckless driving you can condone. Use your blinkers when you turn. One-way road, no U-turns. You must obey the laws that are set.
Yes, don't forget tonight is all about the Senior Calypso Show.
Take my
right there in the cultural complex.
Don't fear to because of
this year will be the first year the king say he ain't going back in, go defend his crown.
Please no speed.
So we'll be creating history. There will be a new king tonight.
On the road. Please no speeding on the road. One block of stone from a devil's stare, eyes in the cloud, wind in the air. I don't want revenge, I don't want rage, I just want you safe, I just want you change. I used to laugh, full of pride, now I just drift where the shadows hide. My story cut short, you know it's true, so I am crying now, don't make it you. I don't want flowers, I don't want tears, I want you to listen, I want you to hear. Life is sweet, it's delicate too, so I am now haunting you. People stop the speeding, no speeding please. One bad choice, your whole life sees. The ones who you love, you're left to grieve. Hear my voice, take my plea. Please stop the speeding, no speeding on the road. Please stop the speeding, no speeding on the road. For the lifestyle might be your own. Reckless driving you can't condone. Use your blinkers when you turn. One-way road, no you turn. You must obey the laws that are set. HMP has cries of regret. Take my warning as no joke. Don't fear to be cause of broke. Please no speeding on the road. Please no speeding on the road. Please no speeding on the road. Please no speeding on the road.
No speeding on the road.
Everybody, up your nice cat, my cat.
Honorable Spencer Bran, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Day 5 of Poets in the Square. We're happy that you would have made it for the past 4 days, and you are now back for the final day. Today, we are in for an extra special treat as we have members of Parliament would be reciting here today at Poets in the Square. Ladies and gentlemen, of course we will have our impromptu contest a little later on, and I'll give you the topic. We're asking you, the audience, to take part in your numbers. And of course, the judges would be selected from amongst you, the audience. Also, a little later on, we'll be featuring the Huggin of coconuts. We're asking you, the audience, as well, to take part. The winner of the impromptu contest and the Huggin of the coconut would get a ticket for tonight's show, the Senior Calypso Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to update you as we go along. Just want to say a special good afternoon to our sister, Sherilyn Adolphin, who journeyed from across the Narrows to be with us. She was here earlier, and she would have been with us over the years. Also, a special good afternoon to Paulette Hanley, who would have been here over the years, and also this week and today. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, help me welcome the NCDF Masqueraders as they perform for us this afternoon. the hands going, keep the hands going for the NCDF Masqueraders under the guidance of Rakodan and Delhi Ranks. Can you give them another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the legal advisor, Ms. Helene Lewis. Good afternoon. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. We're going to go straight into poetry. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the podium a lady who loves poetry, who loves to recite, and is a veteran, I would say, when it comes to poetry in the square. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Miss Vanessa Paris, Mrs. Vanessa Paris, ladies and gentlemen, as she comes.
Good afternoon, everyone. And today is what day? What does emancipation mean? Freedom. Okay. Happy Emancipation Day to everyone that is here and for everyone around the world who were enslaved. Today is a special day, and I am here to honor one particular slave with my first poem, and I have a fun poem straight after that. Both two short poems, but this one means a lot to me, and I'm going to give you the background of why I wrote it. When I was in England year before, I happened to be in the city of Bristol, and Bristol is known for having quite a few records in the museum about Nevis. And one particular person is John Pinney. You know a Pinney's Beach? He was the slave owner of that plantation, and he owned land from mountain to sea. He went back to Bristol, and I went to Bristol because I went on a mission to go to the museum to find out some information. And while I was there with my friends and family, we bumped into the mayor of Bristol, who asked us if we were going to see the bridge that was dedicated to a slave from Nevis. And I was so shocked. I thought, a bridge all the way in England that was dedicated to the first slave, that enslaved person, I don't like to use the word slave, an enslaved person to reach in Bristol through John Pinney when he went back there. His name was Piro. And I went on the bridge. We all gathered around the bridge and saw the plaque that was dedicated to him. And he did not have a happy life. He's a son of our soil. And my heart goes out to him and all the other enslaved people of Nevis. And I wrote this poem just for him. Please bear with me. Have you ever wondered? Did you ever hear? Did you ever search, or are you totally unaware? It took me by surprise. I didn't really think. Was this story really true? My eyes gave a blink. A son of the soil, treated like that all because his skin was black. I'll begin and tell you what I know about a boy who lived here long, long ago. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to complain. I'm not here to preach or cause any pain. Our ancestors didn't stand a chance and took everything with them, everything they knew, and left us with questions that followed me and followed you. Well, I had questions. I wanted to know. I dug deep when I stumbled on his name. It took me by surprise. This wasn't a game. As I searched for answers, my curiosity grew. Who was our lost son? Who was Perrault? Forgotten and lost in history was he. His water, his fate was sealed. He was not to be free. Sold by auction to John Pinney one day and moved to a place not too far away, just down the road from here. He was but 12 when he was brought here, just a boy, bewildered and scared. Far from everything, as far as I know, Nevis was home now for a boy called Perrault. He worked hard and served his masters well, but life wasn't easy as far as we could tell. Time passed by, and to England John traveled, leaving Nevis and Mount Travis. Bristol was cold, damp, dark, and full of rain. He served his master through heartache and pain. Well, will he be set free? Now that he's grown, will he see Nevis again, his beloved home? His master, John Pinney, had no such plan, and Perrault served him until he was a man. Broken was he as time went by. No freedom in sight, he looked to the sky for answers to his plight. Despair overwhelmed him, and he searched for relief. Despair took over what he couldn't believe, and despair took him, a final loss of freedom. Never again. To a Nevis boy from long ago, our own brother, our own Perrault. Thank you. This one is very short and sweet, and I have a classmate in the audience over here, and I'm sure she's going to reflect on what this poem means, and I hope she'll join in, and I hope you will join in. It's called Games. Games we used to play. Sheep, sheep, come home. Again? Why? My dear sheep, the wolf has gone far away and won't be back for many a day, so sheep, sheep, come home. The chase was on and some got away. You remember that game we used to play? I can see them smiling. Running so fast so not to be caught. Dodging and twisting so not to be brought to the wolf in his den. What a calamity it was back then. Big A, little A. Valerie? Big A, little A, bouncing B. The cat's in the cradle and you can't catch me. Run for your life, Big A is coming, with bouncing B in the running. They both aim to catch you and all your friends. Heaven knows what they will do then. But if you get caught, don't worry and fret. Another day is coming. You'll get your turn yet. Find Mr. Goldpin. Find him for me. We clapped and sang till he was found. Up in your sleeve or down on the ground. In your pocket, in the hem of your dress, hidden out of sight, so you have to guess. Sing louder and louder to be led to him. then light up your face with a big old grin. No Nintendo or PlayStation 2, no Netflix or YouTube. We found things to do. And when it rained, inside we stayed and sang along while we played. I'm sure there are some of us who remember this song. You can sing it with me. I'm going to attempt. The rain is falling very hard. We can't come out to play. So we are having fun at school upon the rainy day. So clap, clap together, clap, clap away. This is the way we exercise upon a rainy day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep the hands going for Mrs. Paris. Beautifully done. And while she was reciting, I was reminiscing, on the good old days. Give her another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to acknowledge our Deputy Premier, Honorable Eric Rohan Evelyn. Welcome. And also, Honorable Janelle Nisbet. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. And at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the microphone a young man who is no stranger to Charlestown. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak of none other than the Honorable Spencer Bran as he comes to recite for us a poem entitled Granny Speak. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Bran, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. This poem is set in the late 60s and early 70s. And I hope that it gives some light as to what Nevis was like in those times. I know that from different persons you will get different stories. But I've entitled this presentation, Granny Speaks. Ah, my child, the good old days were simple, yet rich in every way. When Nevis was our playground and life moved with the tide and sway. I remember barefoot mornings, chasing butterflies in the fields, gathering mangoes and cassava, the bounty that nature yields. The good old days in Nevis, oh, they were a different time, when community was kingship and every heart was prime. We danced to the rhythm of the drum, on the stars so bright, and felt the warmth of family from dawn to the night. Oh yes, my dear, we had radios too, small boxes that played our tune, and stories that mellowed the airways from morning until noon. We loved the reggae beat and calypso fire. Music was our heartbeat, our hope, our desire. But more than that, we had our own melodies, our folk songs and hymns, sung in the churches, in the streets, amid the tropical whims. Life was simple, but full of song, full of life's gentle grace. A rhythm of resilience edged upon each smiling face. We learned our lessons, yes, but also learned our roots of Nevis's history, its struggles, and its fruits. School was a place of discipline, but also of stories told, of ancestors' courage, of warriors brave and bold. We dreamed of futures, yes, but also cherished the land. The mountains, the beaches, the soft golden sand. Our stories of resilience, of fighting to be free. Of a people proud in love with their community. Yes, the storms came fierce, and the winds would howl and cry. But we held on tight under the stormy sky. Neighbors helping neighbors, hand in hand, heart in heart. That's how we endured. That's how we made it through the night. We knew the land and we loved it dearly. And in our faith and courage, we found strength sincerely. Hurricanes pass, but our spirit remain, unbroken, resilient, through joys and pain. My child, each era has its beauty, each moment its grace. The past and the present intertwine in this cherished place. Hold on to your dreams, but remember your roots, the strength of your ancestors, their hopes, their pursuits. Nevis is our jewel, our treasure, our song, a place where heart and soul belong. Carry its stories in your heart like a warm embrace, and know that love and resilience define this loving, sacred place. Granny speaks.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Honorable Spencer Bran. Granny speaks. You know, he spoke about chasing butterflies barefooted. But I guess he's lucky. I had to go to school barefoot. And when the one pair heart show, the church show, mash up, my mother gave me a little piece of string to tie around my big toe and I put on the batter shoe. Acho Carol? Yes, it's true. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure is mine to welcome for the first time a young man who is making his debut at Poets in the Square to come and recite to us. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to recite Be You Black. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Iowa Zion, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, bless our love, you know. Greetings and respect to each and every one, you know, upon this a blessed celebration, you know. Emancipation Day. Well, I write this poem here basically because right now when you look at the world, you know, black people just hate being black, so man just want to bring forward a sense of love for black people, you know what I mean? So this one name, Be You Black. In a world of racism, what can you do? Just be yourself and build a better you. You can never be false to someone else so long as you are true to yourself. Be not afraid to assert your blackness because you was created in God's own likeness. A child of the universe is what you are, no less than the moon and the star. You being black is no accident, so in yourself you must be confident. Nature blessed you with the sun gene, and that's why you don't have to use no sunscreen. Yeah, you must see beauty in your black skin and know that there's power in your melanin. You must make black as a badge of honor and see beauty in your black skin color. You are not here to seek no one's approval, but to be your own unique, own individual. Be you black without any apology. That right is yours and God's only. Yeah, give thanks, you know. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time making his debut, let me hear it again for Iowa Zion. Lovely poem, Be You Black. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on. At this point in time, we're going to call to the podium to recite to us about something that we hold dear to our hearts, something that we love so much, but is causing so much of us to feel depressed. But she's here to put some happiness in our hearts, as she's going to recite a poem entitled Cricket. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium, Miss Helene Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you. Long before I came to Nevis, cricket and calypso were my passions. I've only deepened my love for both of them since I've been here. But even as we mourn, I remember a poetic delivery that was meant to encourage us in a time when we were also losing. This one is by the Lord Relator. A lovely day for cricket. Blue skies and gentle breeze. The Indians are awaiting now to play the West Indies. A signal from the umpire. The match is going to start. The cricketers come on the field. They all look very smart. Irapali Prasanna, Gigi Boy and Wadeka, Krishnamurti and Vishnu Mankat. Them boys could real play cricket on any kind of wicket. They make the West Indies team look so bad. We was in all kind of trouble. Joey Carew pull a muscle. Clive Lloyd get about 3 run out. We was in trouble without a doubt. It was Gavaskar, the real master. Just like a wall, we couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all? Venkata Ravagan, Bedi in a turban, Vijay Jaishima, Jayantilal. They helped to win the series against the West Indies at Sabina Park and Queen's Park Oval. 158 by Kanhai really sent our hopes up high. Norega, 9 for 99. The Indian team, they still survive. It was Gavaskar, the real master. Just like a wall, we couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Govindraj and Durrani, Solka Abid Ali, Dilip Sardesai and Vishwanath. They make the West Indies bowlers look like second-raters when those fellas came out to bat. West Indies try Holder and Keith Boyce. They had no other choice. They even try with Uton Dow. But as sure they're sorry, they bring him now. Somebody knows this. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all? Little Desmond Lewis, also Charlie Davis, they take their time and take some shame out we face. But Sobers, as a captain, he really need coaching before we cricket end up in a disgrace. Beatty here that he became a father. He catch Holford in the covers. But when Sobers here, he too had a son. He made duck and went back in the familiar. It was Gavaskar, the real master. Just like a wall, we couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Thank you. Nonetheless, we rally.
Ladies and gentlemen, some cricketing history for you and for us. Put your hands together once again for Miss Helene Lewis. Wow. You know, sometimes I ponder and I said to myself, maybe I should have been growing up in this era. It would have been so much easier for me to run away from home and to live with the West Indies cricket team as they beat no one at all. But nevertheless, we are going to rally. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I'm going to call a young lady to recite 2 poems for us. I am strong. I am strong. Iron strong. Oh. Iron strong. And Queen Sugar Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Mrs. Ashlee Paris-Jabang as she comes, please.
Hello, Nevis. How are we today? This is a real honor because I left Nevis when I was 17, but I left Nevis with Masquerade in my pocket, Calypso in my other pocket, Junior Calypso, Junior Minister of Youth Congress Tourism. And I'm just saying this because it's so important for young people to know. Use what you have in Nevis because it's your paycheck internationally. So now I travel internationally doing what I love, poetry, and so many other things I get called upon. I always make sure I represent Nevis because as much as tourism you have aquatourism, ecotourism, all the other tourisms. Creative tourism is what wins for me. And creative tourism is what thrives for me. And I just want to say, if you're hearing my voice right now and you're a young person, sign up for Masquerade, sign up for Clown, sign up for something so that when you leave Nevis, it's something they never see before. So, on to my poem. It's Emancipation Day today, and I focus a lot of my poetry recently on Black love. I say recently, but it's gone into 2 years now, 2-3 years. The reason for that is I focus a lot on the reason why us as Caribbean people and Africans as well, we have a bad rap when it comes to marriage and love and being in love. The media doesn't help us at all with portraying that we are capable of loving, which is linked to the past where where slave masters told the enslaved people that they were incapable of loving. They were told that they weren't even able to love. Marriage, on the other hand, was controlled by the slave master and was you had to get permission from the slave master to get married. And if he decided, he wake up in a bad mood one day and say, you know what? Your marriage done. Your marriage done. And that's it. Controlling such a beautiful union ordained by God. So here I am today, 7 years married, and very proud of that. My husband is watching live, and he's from West Africa. He's from the Gambia. And I always say, I must he was a slave that they take up and bring me all the way here and left him here, and now we reconnected. And so I write all my poetry because he's my muse. So, Mr. Jabang, if you're watching, I love you. And you always know all my sets are dedicated to you. So my first poem is called Iron Strong, which is the symbol for the 7th year of marriage is iron. I have some accompaniment with it. So, Woodis, you ready for me? All right. Not too loud, not too loud. Yeah. Something about you, the way you sneak upon me, marching in so sweet, hand in hand, snare bouncing with twang. Oh, you look so colorful, you make my beat skip, like your feet in the sand, etching out the silent map to our past. You greet me with a bow. Such a gentleman. I stare. Feathers peeking through twilight. You lift and shake your right leg, then the left. I stare at your rear from a distance. Your Mama Africa holding its own. Beat maker pulsating through my body, pores opening, goosebumps. A spirit, an ancestor. Listen. In your mirrors, I see us, then and now, when you left me, when they took me. You see me quiver insecurely, so you smile. Softly holding your fabric, you gallop around me, back and forth, in a circle. Then you hold my hand. We rock forward, then backward. Holding my hand high like a lady, you let me go. Loving my spectator stance. I love it too. Who are you? I can't see you under that mask. So, you show me, not your face, but who you are beyond dark hues. Dust begins to pick up, throwing your defense. For me, in the air, you catch several times. I'm not sure what's happening. The screeching of the fife, deafening all evil spirits against us. You lean back slowly in a limbo, gripping your defense. You ease back again, feathers licking the sand, fife whistling, beckoning you on. A lump in my throat, as our love relies on you now. Your ankles kiss your back, thunder tears to the sky over the setting sun's views. You spring up in triumph. Tears of exile roll down my cheek. You emancipate them with a kiss. My Mandinka, your Nevision queen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So my second poem also focused on St. Kitts and Nevis. I was asked to do this by the London St. Kitts Nevis High Commission, representing them for the Commonwealth Christmas Choral. And I always wanted to perform this. Even though it's not Christmas, I'm going to say it. Because I've always wanted to perform this poem in particular in the square. It's called A Queen Sugar Christmas. Don't worry with this. This one don't have no backing. A bubbling in my chest as the Christmas breeze tickles the sole of my feet. The whiff of cinnamon bush awakens me with ease. Christmas a come, preparation beginning to tease. Hosanna, 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 shouts the Sagwa man. I could say something better than that. In my day, the floorboards have to clean with whitehead broom and old wife's fish scrubbing it spotless for the arrival of the King, Jesus, our Savior. Prayer and wish. Flycatcher hung up in the roof, made from pretty tissue paper. Jam jar full of sand to hold the sagwe tree together. A string of cards from yesteryear beautifying the place. Looking forward to me barrel from the US. Me front room got to make space. Hosanna, 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 shouts the Sagwa man. I could say something better than that. Something keeping, shop still open, and sunset early o'clock. Christmas Eve, and me nobody have to wear as I hit the town to Lime. My heart racing, crowd thickening, family everywhere. Bumping into friends, exchanging gifts, flutes, cashmere bouquet soap, all tied up in Christmas paper. Simple gesture, lots of hope. Then the hush of evening comes. We all head to church, still unknowing, never forgetting that Jesus Christ comes first. Walking home from midnight mass, the serenaders sing songs of Christmas joy, completing the spirits until morning comes. Woken up by rhythmic sounds, masquerade and big drum. Christmas Day is here with friends, ginger beer and ham. My lips begin to tingle, turkey tantalizing me. Roast pork and black cake, plate tart and marby. Then the drink that meets my heart with mercy and wanting more. The sting of ginger. Oh, I don't mind her. Sorrel, the one I adore. Hosanna, 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 shouts the Sagwa man. Crack the cattle skin whip. It's carnival time in St. Kitts and Nevis. Big drum says something a kip. Light up Charlestown one grand time. Bastia, get your tree ready. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Love from our land of beauty. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can give Miss Jabang another round of applause. Hosanna, Hosanna. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on swiftly as we are pressed for time. So we know some of you may want to recite more than one. We really do not want to limit you, but because of time constraint, we ask that you work with us. And I do hope that you understand. I apologize, but we understand. Ladies and gentlemen, a young lady, a queen in her own rights. One who is not a stranger to poets in the square. A young lady who I enjoy listening to recite. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium Honorable John L. Nisbet as she comes to recite, ladies and gentlemen.
I've still got energy, I can get up. Good afternoon, everyone. I will take my instructions very clearly, and I will do one, even though my assistant secretary had told me I need to do two. one it is for today. And she's been hounding me, asking me if I wrote a new one. And I've been saying yes, I finished today. A quick one. It has no title, as I just finished it today. I fed up to all, I hearing the same old talk. About things not sweet, so they not take part. How about you hush your mouth and open your ears, and you'll hear the vibes all through the ear. They sing 51 is a number 2. Well, it's true. 51 is a number 2. We don't need no signature year, gold or diamond jubilee. When we going to realize this thing take all a we? It take calloused hands beating drums till they tire. It take jumbies on stilts to set the parade on fire. If Irma Johnson is still 90 whining in the road, why you home in your house a whine but not naked? Well, keep out of we thing if you not contribute before your negative energy rub off on we youths. Just like the children, Culturama takes a village to raise. It takes DJs, it takes bandmen, and a little rum in the heat wave. To whisper, use a big dancer, jump on the stage. It takes all of we, loud, bold, and unshy, to show the naysayers that Culturama dead is a bold-faced lie. So come with your flag, and most important, your pride. Come dance in the street, help our culture thrive. From Gingerland to town, from Long Jam we there. Let every voice rise with something positive to say. Now wait for no big years to make we mark. We are Culturama, the match, the spark, the fire. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can do better than that. I know that for a fact. Yes, I love that. And I love to listen to her, as I told you earlier on. And that is why we are telling all and sundry, it doesn't matter the year. Come out and celebrate, because 51 is indeed a number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to acknowledge and say a special good afternoon to Dr. Patricia Bartlett, the founder of Poets in the Square. Good afternoon. It was her brainchild. Special good afternoon to you, madam. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, a young man who have recited for a few years now in the square. I can recall some years ago, he came to me and he said, "Can I recite?" And he was allowed to recite, and ever since then, he has been reciting. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium Mr. Remy Gumbs to recite for us, ladies and gentlemen.
Pleasant good afternoon to one and all. And this poem was composed for International Men's Day last October, I think it was, or maybe November. And what it does, it's a journey through men's history from ancient to modern, highlighting some of our strengths as well as some of our weaknesses. And it goes like this. Created in the likeness of his image, labeled us men, and said it was good. Go on out and lead the world, you have dominion, said the supreme being from up above. Every animal and beast I instill fear for you. You can name them however you please. but by the sweat of your brow you shall work for your meal because of a very unfortunate misdeed. Nevertheless, you are men, so embrace the challenge, showcase to the universe your resilience. Any situation, I'm sure you can manage. Any obstacle, you can overcome. With your bare hands, you tore back the mouths of lions, parted the Red Sea, slew a giant as a kid with a stone. You shall advance in technology and science. You can achieve anything through faith, ask your brother Job. So we invented the plane and the light bulb. We even ventured through space to the moon. Thomas Edison, the likes of Neil Armstrong, Imhotep, the first physician. You see, the greatness in men cannot be measured, and there is no limit to what we can achieve. You have modernized the world through generations and enlightened the world with our philosophies. But we are prone by nature to make mistakes. As mere mortals, we are susceptible to human errors. So don't for one split second think that we can't relate, even when we are reluctant to admit we are wrong. I sometimes battle with inferior complex when I compare mine to my wife's income. It makes me feel less of a man, I do confess, when to survive I have to be reliant. You see, just like women, we suffer from depression, but oftentimes we overestimate our strength. To be brave and strong is to be one thing, but to be made of steel is something else. We have an inherent fear to visit the doctor. The method to check prostate cancer surely doesn't help. We pretend there is no dent in our armor, which contributes to a frail mental health. Now I researched and discovered some statistics, and I was taken aback by surprise. If women are the weaker vessel of us both, then why is it that men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide? So if you look beyond the facade and posture, our vulnerability can only be disguised. So please pay attention to us as our partner, for we have a propensity to hide behind our ego and pride. We beat our chest and display machoism. We've been doing it since ancient of time. So don't be fooled by the bold mannerism. Pay no attention to our masculine stride. Yes, we are men, but we are creatures of emotions first. We even drink to our sorrows and cry. Our shortcomings many times supersede our worth, but still I am proud to be a part of mankind. Now today, men, we have an opportunity to be immortalized in this regard. For long after you're gone, left behind is your name. So I encourage you men to please value these awards, for they will speak in volumes, even beyond the grave. It is designed by nature that wisdom comes with age, so I implore you, do not let this just be a momentary phase, for these occasions are once for the record. So be proud men when your name is mentioned, and welcome to this stage. Thank you.
Keep the hands going, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Remy Gumbs. Very deep indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, just before we move on, I would like to let you know that the impromptu contest is on, and if you are desirous of taking part, you can raise your hand, and you would get a piece of paper and a pencil or pen to compose your 8 to 10 line poem. The topic is long jam. Long jam, and I would be there for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, the privilege is mine to welcome to the podium a young man who is from deep in the east, a fellow Gingerlander. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome to the podium our Deputy Premier, the Honorable Eric Rohan Evelyn, to come and recite to us, ladies and gentlemen. Please give him a rousing round of applause as he comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, all. The privilege is mine to read a poem that was penned by me very recently. And the name of the poem is Division Pride, Second to None. As we celebrate another Culturama, amidst all the frolic and fun, let us also celebrate our Division Pride. That is certainly second to none. Yes, of our culture we must always be proud and be prepared at all times to tell it out loud. The sweet pulsating sounds of the big drum that makes you want to gyrate from night till morning come. That's Division Pride, and it is second to none. That unique and bouncy cadre beat that beholder does sing so sweet. The sound of calypso ringing in your ear with tunes from the present and from yesteryear. From Miko, Zumbai, Flamingo, Astro, Bingy, Ginger, Chaplet and Chevy, just to name a few. That's Division Pride, second to none. And talking about calypso, win or lose, one calypsonian is always in the show. You guess right, it is King this and that. He is a calypsonian to the bone, and that is a fact. 3 cheers to the king for celebrating 50 years in the calypso ring. That's Division Pride, and it is second to none. When it comes to string band music, nothing sweeter than that. Bands like Canary Birds and Woodpeckers set the stage. Now, Sugar Hill and Honeybees got rhythm to suit any age. And what is that? Division Pride, second to none. The best fifers you can find is Nevis the From, David Freeman, Merit Buddy, Bunksy, Nehemiah, and Mr. Hamilton. Now, Seville, Chris, and Jelani are coming along well, so their story we also have to tell. Now that's what you call Division Pride, second to none. Our masquerade dancers are the best you can find. Just watch them perform quadrille, wild mass, and fine fine. From Jokang, Black John, Blackadem and Sour, to Redhead, Tommy, Chicken, and Spire. The giant display was something to see, with Grebbehead Shine and the boy Carl Matey. You remember the Cowboys and Indians as well? The performance from Sam and Wakey would put you under a spell. That's Division Pride, second to none. To the Nidax group, we must give credit. This Culturama we now celebrate they started it. It was back in 1974 when the vision was born. Now 51 years later, we're still going strong. That's Division Pride, second to none. Our culture is rich, of which we must be proud. And all of us divisions should tell it out loud. Culturama belongs to me, you and you. It belongs to all of we for true. Let us celebrate in its grandest style the Caribbean's greatest summer lime. Because it's a division thing. It's a Nevis thing. It's a all of we thing. Let us show our pride even as we revel in fun and proclaim to the world that it is second to none. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Honorable Division Pride, second to none indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. Just to remind you that The impromptu contest is on. If you haven't gotten a piece of paper and a pencil or pen yet, you can indicate. You'll compose a poem, 8 to 10 lines, and then after that, we would go into the husking of coconuts. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on, and I would like to call to the podium a gentleman who has written and published many poems. Ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman who has been around Poets in the Square for a very, very long time, from since the inception. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium, Mr. Clayton Huggins, ladies and gentlemen.
You want to use my photo to hold on. It's mine, I just don't know to use it. Hold on. Camera, there it is. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a delight to be here at Poets in the Square. And I was telling someone recently, it is so unusual because usually this time of year I'm so exhausted doing Poets in the Square, a show at the gallery, and usually a theater production. We're not doing a theater production this year. And I feel very strange. I'm not stressed out. I hope that will contribute to the enjoyment of you hearing my work. This particular poem is called We Sail in Awe and Silence. We sailed in awe and silence, beckoned by the light on the distant shore, each one amazed and relieved that we were here. The water was black and shone below its surface. In this bark crewed by the silent ones, the great helmsman, eased of the burden of care, came and sat silently beside each one, passing through us like a cold, damp wind. His eyes were black, and on the cowled head his heart heaved heavy with a lust for death. He breathed his orders to the oarsmen who cajoled their oars, mining veins of blood with each stroke. We sailed on in awe and silence. How did we get here? All by different paths, yet somehow the same. Each one had taken the great helmsman's hands willingly, though some would have thought not. All had arrived at the gate of passing unaware, that was all. Some were surprised to find that heaven and hell existed only in the minds of those who believed. That old lie had been abandoned, left behind. Was it ages ago or just yesterday? We did not know, and no one cared. Time herself had been stared by the great helmsman. Up ahead, on the shore of the far country, they knew none would be brought home by flights of angels. That was just a flight of fancy. Here to greet us were those to whom we had been good and indifferent. They met us because it was what they did. It was what happens when the silence falls finally for us and time itself turns to water to quench its thirst. In the twinkling of an eye, we would be there, yet we were too close to time's habits to not want the show of illusion. So, for our soul's rest, we're here, sailing on across the river Styx, or Jordan, as the case may be, going home to oblivion if we knew the truth. But even there, the soul needs to have its meanings made clear, clear enough to experience, and so the tale is told for those who do not know. Hold on, there's much more. Woodis. There was no judgment, only the acknowledgement of what I had done. The ripples of every thought I had had waved the pond of my perception. I saw it all without sentiment or feeling. I saw it all and knew then what it had all meant. My life, the people I had known, the things I had done, the joys. It meant nothing. It was always the thought and its intent. It shocked me into recognition of myself, and then I saw it laid out before me. Here, where there are no mirrors, I saw myself patterned in each thought I had had, its intent, and how that intent had been realized. I knew then what I had been, what I was, what I could become, but most of all, who I am. I am no one. I am everyone. I am God and the devil. I am the great helmsman and death. I am life and love. I knew also that the devil was God's shadow when he created the light. But most of all, I knew that what felt most like me is love. Was it true, I wondered? Could it be that the greatest of all was love? Just then the whole of that world shifted. The sky, the ground changed. The very tone of my experience sang. I looked around me and realized then I was no longer on the shore among the living dead, but moved as if on wings of wind among the swift and light. Just then I saw the light which I had seen often enough burn on in me. It was a thing of joy, of life itself, this thing called my soul. Then it happened. I heard a voice. It spoke to me untongued. It spoke with my heart for its mouth. It sang that here would not be for me, for my rest, that I had to return. There were too many like me who did not yet know what I did. And what did I know? I listened and heard my heart beat out a rhythm to life, and my soul turned to a tear of joy for knowing what only it could, that without love it could not be. I said yes. I do return to be a light along the path where others may come to see and know as I do that without love nothing exists. Without love life could not be. Without love, you could not be like me. Now I stand on the shore, waiting for the bark to arrive with the amazed and surprised, greeting all and sundry, impatient, but still at peace to board for the return trip, where I shall see the light which shines without for you. And I shall be born again. Where shall it be? When shall it be? Where it shall be does not matter. When all of us, all of life is an act of love. You and I, known or unknowing, are one, and not one or the other. Though we may be born here or there, it shall be for love, in love, and by love. And if perchance we should find ourselves in God's shadow, let us know that there too love does whisper in the dark, and light, even embedded, is enough to put the shadows to rest. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can do better than that for Mr. Clayton Huggins. Spoke to us about love, and for sure, love is everything. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on, and at this point in time, I'm going to call to the podium Kalia Huggins to recite a poem that was written by Sharon Hicks. Ladies and gentlemen, Kalia Huggins.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm reading this poem on behalf of Mrs. Sharon Hicks Majid. It is entitled Poets in the Square. Poets in the Square. Year after year, I come and sit here, just to listen, poets in the square. From the old to the young, you will hear, even if you're far, but couldn't be near. So come next culture, make sure you be here for another episode of Poets in the Square. You may not believe me, but this is true. Bet your life next year, Uncle Roger and Auntie Michelle gonna find enough things for everybody to do. Thank
you. You can give Miss Hicks and Miss Huggins another round of applause. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to read this poem quickly. It was written by one Irvin Simmons so many years ago. It's entitled Tragedy. Tragedies have a way of making us all think about our own mortality. We somehow all of a sudden realize that we just flesh and bones. Death becomes very real. What if it was me? We feel vulnerable, boy, life, eh? We remember there is a God. We start thanking him for life, for waking us up at mornings. Gratefulness flows from our hearts. The funeral is over, and we would have said the nicest things you couldn't even imagine. They can't hear you. Funerals really are for the living. Time heals all wounds. Morning has broken, and we forgot who holds tomorrow. We feel invincible again. We forget that we are just flesh and bones. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, the pleasure is mine to welcome to the podium a gentleman from Bath. A Rasta man from Bath who is going to come to recite to us. Some of us know him as Muntu. Some of us know him as I Muntuai. Others of us know him as Rasti. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Rasta man as he comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Just a little higher. Yeah. Greetings to ones and ones. Songs called Nevis Naturally. Nevis, Owali, Queen City, land of natural beauty. #1 in culinary and hospitality. Nevis nice and just words, it's a reality. If you're in doubt, come and see. From your arrival, you've been treated like a family. Crime is not an issue. Our rate is lower than that of the Bible. Climate is always good for the beach, with bar and restaurants not out of your reach. Something will be missing if you didn't visit the Bath Hot Spring. How about a tour, a horseback ride, movements on a 2- or 4-wheel bike? Or if you're fond of nature, one of our mountain trailers can take you on a memorable hike. Do you know of Willett, the trendsetter, who in the eyes of a few is seen as nobody, who opens the door to West Indies cricket team for Andy and Vivi and the rest of this vicinity? How about Maritza Williams, our only on-track Olympian, deserves a mention. When the West Indies netball team over England were 2-1 winner, it included Crescentia, aka Pipsin, and was led by Lydia, a Barnsgott daughter. But it's all in order, because they too produced our first political leader. To me, it was pretty cool when I learned of young Nisbet going to Olympics to compete in the swimming pool. So it's clear to see, with or without facility, with hard work, dedication, and ability, we're good as any, better than many. How about our folklore? Has been in demand from shore to shore. Our cakewalk dancer has been a feature at every Carry Festa. Our masquerade has been a part of everybody festival and parade. And them say when you come, no left the big drum. Our string band debuted at the music festival. Yeah, the Governor General whining, and the Prime Minister can't catch the beat. What wrong with he, boy? Our steel band is holding its own. I'm so proud to know it's homegrown. Hinting, Kinina, oh my God, Aide, Nega, Abby, Gel, boy, you would hear them regularly. They are only found in our dictionary. Remember, if you don't make it to heaven, you've been to Nevis, full of good vibes and adventure. Never feel like a stranger. So don't try to be resistant if you find yourself becoming a frequent visitor. Just know, say, it's a well-spent dollar.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you can do better than that for Monto. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we're going to call on Mrs. Ermelita Elliott to introduce to us our feature poet for this afternoon. Let's give her a round of applause, please, as she comes.
Introduction to Tamisha Sadler. Tamisha Sadler is a dedicated educator and mother of 5 who has spent the past 24 years inspiring young lives. She is a passionate teacher with a creative spirit who has composed poems with a variety of lyrics. Miss Sadler has weaved poetry into her teaching, using rhyme and wordplay to help students with their learning. Well, this poet has had resounding impact, using limericks so very useful and with tact. Her love of poetry blossomed in high school, which began as a hobby, which she used as a learning tool. From the poems, she got inspiration. Today, she's sharing from her soul some of her creative expressions. Sometimes, getting lost in a book when she gets a chance, Miss Sadler here just loves to dance. She cherishes her family and friends, but for poets in the square, she is a treasured blend. So, with Nevision pride that is second to none, it's Tamisha Sadler, featured poet for Culturama 51.
Thank you, Mrs. Elliott, from one poet to the next. Well, we've had a barrage of poems today. So I think I'll only do 2 pieces. The one that I'll do now is one that the public really likes, and it is entitled Where Me From. And I did a little tweaking. The original piece, I took out some elements and put in a new set of elements, right? Where me from? From Big Part to up the hill, make up the vibrant village of Brown Hill. The best place to live in Nevis. No lie, believe me when me tell you this. A place that is always peaceful. The residents there are very helpful. A place where everyone is practically family and strive to live together happily. Whether you're from Budgeon Range, Golden Grove, or Upper Pasha, we all are one, nobody a stranger. If we are Brown Hill, Brown, Powell, Libert, or Pemberton, no matter our titles, Brown Hill are where we come from. I don't like to toot my horn or lament, but Brown Hill full of vibes and enough talent. Sports like cricket, netball, and athletics, just as Kezron, Akima, and Rwanda, they are the best at it. Brown Hill is a place full of celebrities, such as Rudy and the biggest cheerleader, Judy. From this village, many kings and queens have reigned. Astro, Bingy, Kerry, and Maid. Highest bread and butter is a delicacy. For the best fried chicken, just come by Sunday. And for the best salmon on the island, just check them Brown Hill man. A village brimming with lots of beauty. I really love and cherish my community. I deem it such a thrill to be from the metropolis of Brown Hill. Okay, this next piece, this is entitled In the Bushes. It's my inspiration. Well, at the end, you'll know what my inspiration is. In the bushes. In Nevis, we have a great tradition. We brew a liquid that is pure perfection. In the bushes, it's a process of transformation through the magic of fermentation. The seasoned hands just know just what to do. They craft a time-honored Mountain Dew. A secret passed from old to new, now shared with me to share with you. Sugar, molasses, yeast, and water is the foundation of this potent mixture. Placed in a boiler at very high temperature, under a hot, roaring kusha wood fire. Through the pipes the steep come down. The liquid flows as the still gently hums. A little sputter, a drip, a drop, here it comes. Glistening and sparkling clear, the liquid runs. Done under the sun or under the moonshine. Catch it straight, then mix in the low wine. A magical process that is closely timed, converting sweetness into something so divine. Collected in a bottle, the secret is sealed. The strength is tested by the swirling beads. Open it, take a sniff, the aroma is revealed. Take a sip, feel the warmth, it's good indeed. By now you know where I'm coming from. From the still in the bushes, I bring the real Nevis rum. Come wet your lips, don't just play jump. Come and try the best on the island, the Brown Hill Hammond. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our feature poet, Miss Tamisha Sadler. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go straight into our impromptu contest. We have 3 participants: Vanessa Taveras, Vanessa Paris, and Jonel Nisbet. We have 3 judges: Julietta Fifield Morton, Adina Taylor, and Paulette Hanley. Ladies and gentlemen, the competition is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium our first competitor, Miss Vanessa Paris. Ladies and gentlemen, give her a round of applause as she comes. The topic, once again, long jump.
Well, this is a competition I didn't even know. I would have, oh my goodness, I thought they just wanted something scribbled down. Well, here we go. Topic long jam. I was taken by surprise, but anyway, here we go. Long jam, guava jam, all of them are sweet jam. From morning to night, we stamp with feet, drinking water, to beat the heat. Stamp the ground and turn around from Gingerland to Charlestown. Fling your hands high as you can. Walk your waist to the rhythm of the band. Don't lose your place, the crowd getting thick. Hold your ground with a rhythmic kick. The jam is long, but we're here to stay. Jamming till we drop, we just don't kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again for Mrs. Vanessa Paris. What a way to start the ball rolling in Day 5 of our impromptu contest. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the judges are Julietta Fifield Morton, Adina Taylor, and Paulette Hanley. They are the ones sitting in the hot seat. Ladies and gentlemen, our second participant, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Jonel Nisbet, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's a setup thing, right? Because I don't have no backup dancers. But for the culture, right? Yeah, right. Topic long jam. Size don't matter, but the length sure do. So from Gingerland to town is where you'll find me, and hopefully you. With stamina and rhythm, we move body to body. Ear dry, bodies wet, from sweat, maybe a hose, at this point, who knows? Clothes soaked, as we cloaked in heat, gyrate to the beat of the big drum, all the way from country straight to Charlestown.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Nisbet. Judges, I don't envy you at all. I much prefer to stand here and talk all day than to sit in your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, our final participant is Miss Vanessa Taveras, and her poem would be read by Joyce Moving. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Moving as she comes.
Good afternoon.
representing my friend Vanessa. Long jam. Long or short, a jam they want. All the way from Gingerland to the heart of Charlestown. See them in them short pants, nighty. Them even forget them only wearing them panty. Because a long jam them a come, even the queen in she crown. Come see your pastor, looking for him member. He too want a piece of the long jam. Come one, come all. Join us in the long jump from country to town.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get a winner shortly. But I just want to let you know we have some coconuts. How many hoes we have, Madam Chair? 4. So we're going to have 4 participants. We're going to give you 2 coconuts. The participant to Hawks, both coconuts, the quickest, would deem the winner. Remember, the winner of the Huggin of the coconut and the impromptu contest would get a ticket for tonight's event, the Senior Calypso Monarch. If you are interested in Huggin, please check Mrs. Elliott under the white and the yellow tent on my far left, and you would be able to, male, female, it doesn't matter. As I await the judges' decision, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind us and thank you for coming out. Our impromptu winner for day 1 was Miss Joyce Movin. Day 2, Tuesday, Mr. Shefton Liebert. Day 3, Wednesday, was P. Alistair Rollins. Day 4, yesterday, Thursday, was Ernestine. And day 5, today, Friday, is... Y'all ain't talking. Let me give the names again. Vanessa Taveras, Vanessa Paris, Janelle Nisbet. Day 5 impromptu winner is... Day 5, let me hear you. Judges, please don't be influenced. This is a conversation between the audience and myself. Day 5 winner is... happy you know, Judge. Ladies and gentlemen, we had 3 judges. Each judge would have judged each participant on a maximum of 10 points. Hence, the combined or the aggregate for 3 judges would be 30. So each participant could have managed a total of 30 points. So here we go. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, won the second placer by 0.5 points. The third placer lost to the second placer by 1.5 points. That reminds me of 2003, Mr. Cool competition. A certain gentleman lost to the winner by 1.5 points way back in 2003. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, amassing a grand total of 25 out of a possible 30. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Mr. DJ, give me a drum roll. Your winner for day 5. Ladies and gentlemen, you said it. The judges agreed. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Vanessa Paris. Miss Paris, can you kindly come and recite your poem once again, please? In the meantime, you can register for the Huggin of Coconut. The hose are out, but not ideally in the proper position, I dare say.
Oh, Lord have mercy on me. Say good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Right. Well, here we go again. I didn't know I was in a competition, but here we go. I was just given this piece of paper and it said topic long jam. And the person who gave it to me just said, just write something on long jam. So I thought it was to do with a slogan that they needed. But anyway, here we go. Well, so this is what I wrote. Long jam, guava jam, all of them is sweet jam. From morning to night, we stamp with feet, drinking water to beat the heat. Stamp the ground and turn around from Gingerland to Charlestown. Fling your hands high as you can. Walk your waist to the rhythm of the band. Don't lose your place. The crowd getting thick. Hold your ground with a rhythmic kick. The jam is long, but we're here to stay. Jamming till we drop, we just don't kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our winner, our Day 5 winner. We are going to move straight into the Huggin of coconuts. Yes. Who are our 4 participants? Remember, it doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the gender. If you are desirous of participating, you can simply come and stand by one of the hosts. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter. I see my good friend, she's going to take part. I am your friend, darling, don't worry. How you doing? Welcome. Nice to see you, my dear. We are looking for the first 4. The first 4. We are looking for the first 4 to compete in the Huggin of the coconut. It's in tradition that we once used and we still use up to today to hug our coconut. Now let me give you the instructions. Ladies and gentlemen, I am seeing 2 past winners, a male and a female. No, we don't have another hoe. Unless we're going to do it by time. Okay. Now, participants, listen up clearly. Let me speak compulsory language. You shall not touch your coconut until I say. Good. Now, if you want to space out some more, space out some more. That's not a problem. Now, the instructions. When I tell you to go, you would go. You are to hug out your coconut. You are to make the coconut as clean as possible. There are some fibers on the coconut. You are to take them off with your hand or hands, not your mouth. It's not a jelly. Participants, before we start, good afternoon. Can you kindly tell us your name? Turn around, turn around. No, don't tell me, tell us.
James Allen.
James Allen.
Allen, yeah.
Allen. Welcome, James Allen. One of our past winners. Good afternoon. Can you tell us your name, please?
My name is Corinne Tyson.
Corinne Tyson. Where you from, Corinne Tyson?
I am from Cotton Ground.
Corinne Tyson from Cotton Ground, ladies and gentlemen. Give her a round of applause. And also Mr. Allen. Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
I'm Eustace Alberto Claxton.
Use what?
Eustace Alberto Claxton.
Eustace Alberto
You can call me Puchito.
Claxton, and you could call me Puchito.
Yeah.
Where you from?
Clecot.
Clecot. Ladies and gentlemen, give Puchi a round of applause. Our fourth participant. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Walla.
Walla. Yeah. Where you from, Walla?
Walla Gas.
Walla Gas. Where you from?
Coal Hill.
Walla Gas from Crown Hill.
Coal Hill, New Zion.
Coal Hill to Zion?
Coal Hill, New Zion.
Coal Hill, New Zion. Wow, I learned something today. Participants, to your marks. You should not touch the coconut with any portion of your body until I say. So if you want to fix them now, fix them now. If you want to fix them now. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, participants, to your marks. After 3. 1, 2, 3, hucks. Walla looks good. Allen looks really good. Oh, me great. Allen, body manga style. Look here. Look at Allen. Look at Allen. The manga style. But Walla looking good. Too much style maybe you don't fall, brother. Oh my, this is close. This is going to be close. Judges, keep an eye on it. It's going to be... Wow, Walla jumps first. Walla jumps first. Allen jumps second. Too confident. And Poochie struggles. His woes and struggles. Or you didn't know it was 2. You thought that it was 1. Now put on your foot on the hoe. You damage yourself, yes. Oh my gosh. You're picking a Poochie? Clay got massive! Cotton ground massive! Okay, Miss Elliott, come do some examination here. We're going to be looking at Walla's coconuts, and we're going to be looking at Allen's coconut. Walla looks good. I am not a judge. Allen looks good. Allen and Walla. It's just Allen and Walla. It's not the cleanest. Once it's clean, it's not who has it the cleanest. It's not who is the cleanest. It's once it's clean. It's clean, cleaner, and cleanest. It's not the cleanest. Ladies! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new champion. 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, our new champion is Walla! Walla Gas! Walla Gas, how are you feeling? Is this the first time taking part in Poets in the Square, Huggin of Coconut?
Yes, first time. Thank you.
How you learn about it?
No, you're part of the culture, man. I could do this any time, even with me mouth.
You think you can beat me? You want to shut down with me?
No. You might lose your teeth.
Walla, you're going to win yourself a ticket to go to the senior Calypso show tonight.
Okay, yes.
Are you supporting any particular Calypsonian?
No, not particular. Once they sing a good song, it's quite hard for me.
So you're supporting all of the Calypsonians? Yes. Because believe me, all of the Calypsonians are singing good songs.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
What about Brown? He all right?
Which of the brown?
Chris.
Chris, that was soca.
Oh, okay.
No, he sang last night. Ladies and gentlemen, put it up for Walla Gas from Colel, our champion, Huxa for 2025. Speak to Mrs. Rollins, our chair. I'm going to speak to... Thank you, darling. Safe journey. Ladies and gentlemen, you want more? You want more? We could find another ticket somewhere? Can we find? Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you on behalf of our chair, Mrs. D. Michelle Rollins, and the entire committee, Miss Tamisha Sadler, our feature poet, Mrs. Amelita Elliott, Miss Huggins, Mrs. Kim Singh, Mrs. Shelley Liebert. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone? Yes, Mrs. Elliott, yes. Who am I missing? Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure being here with you and you with us. We would see you next year, but before I go, I want to encourage you to continue to enjoy Culturama. This evening, all roads leads to the Nevis Cultural Complex for the TDC Senior Calypso Monarch Competition. Tomorrow, Saturday, we head to the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park for the all-day food, fair and arts. And then in the evening we go to the cultural village where we have the 5-in-1. Sunday, all roads lead to the St. James's Raceway. And then after that in the evening, we journey back to Charlestown to the NCDF Complex for the Miss Culture competition, Queen competition. On Monday morning, we join the Long Jam at Beach Road, and there will be other bands that will be jamming in and around Charlestown. On Monday evening, we go to the NCDF Cultural Complex for the Miss Caribbean Queen competition. On Tuesday, we have the Parade and Troops and Last Lap Jam. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to be on your best behavior. We don't want any accident or incident. If you will be driving, please have a designated driver. If you intend to misbehave, please stay at home. Please leave all your weapons, if you have any, at home. I would encourage the police to lock you up until Tuesday if you misbehave. And now they could hear me wherever they are. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Roger Fifield, saying good afternoon, be safe, be good, may God bless you, and may God bless us all. Have a good afternoon.
We on the party boat. Party boat. We set for a defense club. Now we on a party boat. To get a good vibes, to feel a good vibes. Ladies in a peeling skirt, it's splendid sweetness. Come on, to get a good vibes, to feel a good vibes. Don't really matter where you come from, just come check the vibes. We celebrating life. Oh, oh, women petting from dusk till dawn. just come check the vibe. We celebrating life. Sailing on the party boat. Women rocking on the boat. Sailing, check how we sailing. Sailing on the party boat. And I from north to south. Sailing, check how we sailing. Jennifer she sailing. Shelita she sailing. On the party boat. On the party boat. Camilla she sailing. Benita she sailing. On the party boat. On the party boat. Sailing on the party boat. Women rocking on the boat. Sailing. Check how we sailing. Sailing on the party boat. Hands are high from north to south. Sailing. Check how we sailing. Ladies looking sexy. Just watch how they drink and speak. To get a good vibes. To feel a good vibes. Orange juice and Campari. Top shelf they offer we. To get a good vibes. To feel a good vibe. Don't really matter where you come from. Just come check the